Hello, little learners. Welcome back to Camp Read a Lot, the place where we read books, sing songs, and keep the learning going all summer long. My name is Miss Laura. Can you tell me your name? I'm so excited you made it back to another week of learning. I have my friend Maria the Mail Person who's going to help us sing our good morning song. Are you ready to sing with me? It goes like this. Good morning, it's a sunshine kind of day. Come join Miss Laura for some learning and some play. Will we sing a song? Of course we will. Make our brains strong, like super strong. So come along. Yes, come on, friends, for some learning and some play. Hello, Jello. Hi there, Grizzly Bear. What's up, Buttercup? Not much, Coconut. What's shaking, little bacon? Not a lot, Tater Tot. Ready to start, Glitter Heart? Of course, little horse. I'm ready to start too, so let's go through our visual schedule. So we're going to start our day with a brand new book and maybe some mail from Miss Maria. We're going to read two books today, actually. One about being scared and the other, our focus text, which is Abba Yo-Yo. Could you tell by what I was wearing? And then we're going to move on to our foundational skill lesson and do a project where you can practice those skills at home. Are you ready to get started? I think I hear, it's my doorbell. There it goes. I knew Miss Maria dropped something off, so let's see our letter. Remember, when we read anything, we always start on the left and go to the right, and I have a little song to help us remember. This is the left. This is the right. When we read, we start at the left and slide to the right. So let's read. It says, Dear Miss Laura, have I got a story for you? Yay, I love good stories. I play the ukulele, and today I used it to make a giant monster dance. I've never heard of such a thing. I was so scared. Have you ever been scared? Love, the character in our book, Abba Yo-Yo. Have I ever been scared? I wonder if Miss Maria dropped anything else off that would help us with feeling scared. She did. She dropped off a book about a little mouse named Sheila Ray that was very brave. Now I want you to focus on two things as I read this book. One, how Sheila Ray's fear actually helped her stay out of dangerous situations. And two, how her little sister was brave in a quiet way. So let's read about Sheila Ray and her experience with being scared. Sheila Ray the Brave by Kevin Henkes. He's the author. He wrote the words. Let's see here. Sheila Ray wasn't afraid of anything. She wasn't afraid of the dark. She wasn't afraid of thunder and lightning, and she wasn't afraid of the big black dog at the end of the block. Those can be really scary. At dinner, Sheila Ray made believe that the cherries in her fruit cocktail were the eyes of dead bears, and she ate 5 of them. At school, Sheila Ray giggled when the principal walked by, and when her classmate Wendell stole her jump rope during recess, Sheila Ray tied him up until the bell rang. I am very brave, Sheila Ray said, patting herself on the back. Ooh, she is very brave, isn't she? At least she thinks so. Sheila Ray stepped on every crack in the sidewalk without fear. And when her sister Louise said there was a monster in the closet, Sheila Ray attacked it. And she rode her bicycle no-handed with her eyes closed. Yay, yay, Sheila Ray, her friends yelled, clapping their hands. You can see right here, she's on top of her bicycle doing a trick. She's so brave. One day, Sheila Ray decided to walk home from school in a new way. Louise, remember her little sister, was afraid to. You're too brave for me, Louise said. And then Sheila Ray does something not so nice. She says, you're always such a scaredy cat. Am not, whispered Louise. Was that a nice thing to say? No. Sheila Ray started off skipping. I am brave, she said. I am fearless. She stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended that trees were evil creatures, and she climbed up them and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. She walked and crossed streets and turned corners. And then it occurred to her that nothing looked familiar. Familiar is another word that means you recognize or know where you are. She heard frightening noises. They sounded worse than thunder. She thought horrible thoughts. They were worse than anything she'd ever imagined. I am brave, Sheila Ray tried to convince herself. I am fearless. How do you think Sheila Ray is feeling now? She walked off and she's all alone and she's lost? Oh no. The sounds became more frightening. She sat down on a rock and she cried, help! She sniffed. She thought of her mother and her father and Louise. Mom! Father! Louise! She said. And then a little voice from the tree said, here I am. And guess who it was? Her little sister Louise. Do you remember that Sheila Ray had made fun of her? Louise, Sheila Ray hugged her sister. We're lost. No, we're not, said Louise. I know the way home. Follow me. And Louise stepped on every crack and she walked backwards with her eyes closed, and she growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended the trees were evil creatures and snapped their fingers off. They walked and walked, they crossed streets, they turned corners, and soon they saw their house. And when they reached their own yard and the gate was closed behind them, Sheila Ray said, Louise, you are brave. You are fearless. We both are, said Louise, and they walked backwards into the house with their eyes closed. Now, in this story, Sheila Ray was scared to go a new way home. Sometimes when we're scared of things, it's to help protect us, right? Because she could have gotten lost. And Louise, her little sister, was brave after all. She was just kind of quietly brave. Now, I have a story that Miss Maria, the mail person, dropped off that's going to talk about fear and even a monster. But don't worry, it's not real. The name of the story is Abba Yo-Yo. And look at the front. You can tell it's going to have a father and a son. And I'm going to show you the back cover. Here is the monster in the story. Now, just like Sheila Ray and Louise, we're going to be brave as we watch the story of Abba Yo-Yo together. Let's watch. It's story time. Abba Yo-Yo by Pete Seeger, retold by Miss Laura. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who played the ukulele all around town. All the grown-ups would say, "Take that thing out of here." The boy's father also got into trouble. He was a magician, and with his magic wand, he'd go zoop, zoop, and make things disappear. he played too many tricks on people. He'd come up to someone about to drink a nice cold glass of something and zoop! The glass disappears. The people of the village did not like the father's magic tricks or the son's ukulele. They told the father, "You get out of here too. Take your magic wand and your tricks and you and your son just get." The boy and his father were ostracized. They had to live on the edge of town. Now in this town they used to tell stories of giants that lived in the old days. The father told his son about a giant called Abba Yo-Yo. He said he was as tall as a tree and could eat people up. Of course, nobody believed the story, but they told it anyway. One day, the sun rose blood red over the hill. The first people got up and looked out the window. They saw a great big shadow in front of the sun. They could feel the whole ground shake. Women screamed, strong men fainted. "Oh, run for your lives! Abba Yo-Yo's coming!" He came to the sheep pasture and grabbed a whole sheep. Yup! Then he went to the cow pasture. Yunk! Men yelled, "Grab your most precious possessions and run! Run!" Just then, the boy and his father woke up. "Hey, Pa, what's that coming over the fields?" "Why, son, that's Abba Yo-Yo. Oh, if only I could get him to lay down. I could make him disappear." So the father grabbed his magic wand and the boy got his ukulele and they ran across the fields. There was Abba Yo-Yo. He had long fingernails because he never cut them. He had slobbery teeth because he never brushed them, stinky feet because he didn't wash them. He raised up his claws and just then the boy whipped out his ukulele and he sang,
Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo.
Well, the giant had never heard a song about himself before. He started to dance.
Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo.
The boy went faster.
Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo.
The giant got out of breath and fell down flat on the ground. Up steps the father and zoop, zoop, zoop. Abba Yo-Yo disappeared. The people from the town cheered. From then on, the boy and his father were always welcome in town. The end. So what did you think of Abba Yo-Yo? Just like the story I read with Sheila Ray and Louise, Abba Yo-Yo was defeated by a brave little boy and his father. Now, I love reading stories to you, but I want you to be able to read stories to me. And did you know that you can tell stories without being able to read the words? That's what I want to help you do right now. So let's look at some pictures and see if you remember the story of Abba Yo-Yo. Okay, this is called retelling a book with pictures. When I retell a book to a teacher or a friend, I tell the beginning and the middle and the end. First, next, last are the words that help me out. When I read my favorite book, I tell what it's about. So this is the story of Abba Yo-Yo. Do you remember what happened first? There was a little boy and he had a ukulele and his father had a wand. That's right. And they were taken out of the village because they kept bothering people. Like the father would play tricks on them and make the water glass disappear so the water spilled all over the place. But then there was a shadow in the sky. Do you remember who it was? Abba Yo-Yo, that's right. Abba Yo-Yo came to the village, and the village people didn't know how to defeat him. So the boy took out his ukulele and started playing Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo. And then what happened? The monster got so tired that it fell whoop, to the ground. And then the father said, zip, 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 and made Abba Yo-Yo disappear. Now I want you to practice retelling this story at home, so I have a fun activity that we can do together. Here are the materials that we're going to need to make a recycled materials ukulele. We're going to need 1 cereal box or shoebox, 1 paper towel tube, 8 rubber bands, 2 crayons, and some scissors. Let's go over to our project place. Now I wanted to show you what a real ukulele looks like. Look at, this is what it looks like. I don't know how to play it or I'd be playing you my songs, but I want you to hear what it sounds like. Ooh, what do you notice about it? It has a hole kind of in the middle, and it has some strings, doesn't it, that you pull to make music. And then it has these things here that you use to tune it. And it's made out of wood. Now, if you don't have a ukulele at home like I do, we can actually make one. So here's one that I made with the materials I told you about. So I just used a shoebox now. It doesn't sound exactly the same, does it? But you can pretend to be the little boy and make Abba Yo-Yo fall to the ground. So let's make our project. So I'm starting off with a cracker box that I used here. Now you'll notice in our ukulele there's a hole in the middle like that. And that's what we have to create in our cracker box. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm actually going to punch a hole in the middle. Now you might need a grown-up's help to do this because cardboard can be really hard to get through. Let me try the pointy end here. And it might take you a little while and you're going to have to push and maybe claw, and you're going to make a little hole like that. Once you make the hole, then it's a little bit easier to cut out either a square or a circle, as large or as small as you would like. I'm going to make mine kind of large. I want it to really look like the best ukulele that it can. Ooh, there we go. There it is. That's the start. Now the next step is going to be to make a little handle, just like our ukulele has here. See? Now in this one I used a paper towel roll, so you can use paper or you can use these toilet paper rolls. You'll notice they're kind of short. So in order to make them long, I'm actually going to tape them together. You can glue them. If you have glue at home, I'm just going to use tape because we kind of have to go quickly here. I'm using pink tape. Let's see, I'm going to put it around the edge like this, and around and around and around. It goes like this. So now we have the handle. The next step is going to be to tape it to the top here. All right, I'm going to use my tape to do that as well. So this can get a little tricky. You can actually use glue if you'd like. I wanted to use tape just because it goes a little bit faster, like I mentioned. You can kind of put it on and it sticks. Now, one thing that I didn't do to my ukulele is paint it or decorate it or add a handle out of yarn. That would be so much fun, but you can do that at home any way you'd like. So I'm putting it on here, put tape on there, and there we go. The last step is going to be to add the rubber bands. Now, I added some rubber bands here that are quite large like this. And if you don't have these, I just happen to have them where I work, you can actually take smaller ones and I'll show you. Let's pretend that these were smaller. You can actually take smaller ones and tie them up just in case they don't fit around your box. Like this. all the way around and tie them up to make a larger rubber band. And I'm going to tie it here. Now this can be something that a grown-up can help you with too, because it can be tricky for little fingers to get the knot just so and make it stay. We don't want to get frustrated when we do this activity. It's supposed to be fun. All right, once you tie it up, you can actually string it in. There's one putting on, and I have 4 total. Will you help me count? I have 1, and here is 2. Ooh, let's see if we can fit 4. Here is 3. And one last one. Let's see where we might fit this. Probably over here. And 4. Now let's see if it plays. Ooh, this one sounds a little different than this one, my sample. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because the hole is a little larger. So let's see how this one sounds. So I want you to take your ukulele and you can make like a little yarn handle so you can wrap it around, just like the boy did in the story Abba Yo-Yo. And I want you to pretend that you're the boy that's singing the Abba Yo-Yo song. Do you remember how it went? Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo. Okay, let's see. And then we'll sing it faster. Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo. You ready to go faster? Hold it fast. Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo. And then even faster still. Can you keep up? If you're at home, you can pretend to be the monster that's dancing and then fall to the floor. Ready? I'm going to do it super speed. Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo. And even faster. Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo, Abba Yo-Yo. Did you fall to the ground just like the monster in our story? Now remember, if you try this or any of the activities that we do together, send me a picture or a little note. I think my friends are going to put the address where you can send things here below. All right, my friends, let's review what we did today. So today we read the story of Sheila Ray the Brave, and we talked about being scared. Now tomorrow we're going to listen to a story from Sonia the Snail. She got into a situation where the lights went out and she got very scared. And then we also read our focus text, which was Abba Yo-Yo, about a monster that comes to a village and about a boy and a father who use music to kind of make him disappear. We made a ukulele together, didn't we? And pretended to be the monster that falls to the ground. Now tomorrow, if you want to join me for our activity, you're going to need a large piece of white paper, a black crayon, and some watercolor paints. We're actually going to make Abba Yo-Yo out of watercolors, and we're going to make him dance anytime that we hear rhyming words. So I hope that you join me then. Right now, it looks like it's time to sing our goodbye song. Are you ready for some letter practice and some singing? Here we go. Let me put my ukulele over here. Here we go. A, B, see you later. D, E, F, G, I'm gonna miss ya. H, I have to go now. J, K, bye-bye now. L, M, N, oh, I had a good time. P, Q, are you gonna miss me? S, T, you are my best friend, and you're my very best friend. V, W, X, Y, Z. right, I will see you tomorrow, boys and girls. And don't forget to come back with your watercolors and your white paper so we can make Abba Yo-Yo. Do you remember from the story that he was as tall as a tree and he had long fingernails because he never cut them, and he had smelly feet because he never washed them, and his teeth, oof, I can't even tell you about his teeth. They were yellow and grimy because he just never brushed them. Oh, I hope that's not us. I'm going to go brush my teeth right now, boys and girls. Okay, until I see you tomorrow, Miss Laura sends you a big squeeze. A nice and tight one. Did you feel that one? A big smooch. Kind of slobbery. It reminds you to read and to play and to use your imagination every single day. We'll see you tomorrow, boys and girls. Goodbye.